I did go on a trip though the last week of March. I wasn't home. I literally just got home last night at like midnight, and I'm filming this in the morning, and I'm gonna post this the same day. Hello everyone, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all of the books that I read in March. I felt like I saw everyone post that they were in a reading slump this month. This month was a very good reading month for me. I felt like I really enjoyed a majority of the books that I read. I was happy with it. I didn't read a whole bunch. I read 5 books this month, but I loved most of them. As always, all the books that I read will be linked in the description. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And let's get on with all the books that I read in March. So starting off strong, the first book I read this month, you guys saw this, my birthday book haul if you watched it, A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this. Look how many tabs I put here. This has pretty much all of my favorite tropes. It's private boarding school, good girl, bad boy, virgin heroine, enemies to lovers. Pretty much this follows Ren and Crew story. If you read Things I Want to Say by Monica Murphy, my all-time favorite bully romance, it's in the same universe as this. It's taking place at Lancaster Prep, and basically Ren and Crew, they hate each other. Ren is like the poster child for good girl. She's popular, everyone wants to be her. She's rich, she's nice, she's smart. And then Crew is pretty much like, you know, like the bad boy. He gets into a lot of trouble with a lot of girls, but he can pretty much get away with it because he's a Lancaster and his family owns the school. But Crew is Whit's cousin. They get partnered up to work together on a school project, and Ren is not too happy about it. Just throughout the book, the more they hang out, you grow an interest in their relationship and in them hanging out. I just really liked the progression of the relationship. Crew falls so hard. That guy is like the biggest simp ever. They start to hang out more because of the project, and then Crew starts inviting her out more. They go to like an art museum and they go on a trip together. One thing that I really liked about it too was that she is known in the school for being a virgin, and I really like how she describes that a woman's body is a woman's body, and like you need to take ownership of it, not let anyone make you feel bad about your body pretty much. And I really liked that message. And I think what I really liked about this is like it's a really good first love type of story, like exploring your sexuality. I really enjoyed that aspect of this book, just the progression of their relationship. The more you read, you realize that Crew never really hated her. He hated her because he couldn't have her. I can't recommend this book enough. There's many grand gestures. I just love Crew so much. When the guy who's never been in a relationship before, never wants to be in a relationship, suddenly falls super hard, super fast for a girl that you normally wouldn't see him with, that right there, that takes the cake. I love it. 5 out of 5 stars. I will read anything Monica Murphy writes in the Lancaster Prep universe. Next, I read The Wrong Brother by Monica Murphy. It's a novella that's about one of Whit's siblings. I read it on my Kindle. For those who have questions on my Kindle, I made a video all about my Kindle if you wanted to watch it. Pretty much any and every question that a lot of people have before buying a Kindle, I'll have that linked in the card. But I don't really have a lot to say about this. I gave it 2 stars. You meet one of his siblings in the book, and then you see that he's dating someone. So you kind of see how these 2 people started to date. I don't even remember their names, honestly. I know it's a novella, but I feel like I would have enjoyed more like a date night with them and then seeing an issue. I don't know. Maybe novellas just aren't for me because this is my first one and they're really short. When I think novella, I think mini vacation, a trip. It was a super fast-paced book pretty much. You see how they start dating, and then you see like a week of them not talking, and then how much like they miss each other and they love each other. I don't know. I just felt like I was missing so much. Like I felt like the concept of it would have been nice as a full-length book. Kind of have a pretty much like a one-night stand. They hook up, a mix-up that happens. Like if you read it, you'll find out, but there's a mix-up that happens. She's the assistant to his brother, and he makes her like leave the office for a couple weeks, and then they reunite. It just wasn't for me. Too fast-paced, very insta-love in my opinion. Yeah, I just didn't really like it. The smut was good though, but like overall the book was just no, I don't know. 2 out of 5 stars. And then the next book I read, I could not decide what I wanted to read to save my life. Like I just was not in the mood for anything. I took it as a sign to hop back into my favorite universe. I started like a series and I read Damaged Like Us. Wow. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Look at how much I tabbed. I loved this. So I know a lot of people haven't read this because they're scared that it's not going to compare to the Addicted / Calloway sister series, but I really loved this, and I feel like we kind of get that same feeling, like just like the strong family dynamic, the strong bonds. Love. So this book is about Pharaoh and Mafi. Mafi is the oldest son of Lily and Lo. I love him so much. His best friend is Jane Cobalt, the oldest Cobalt daughter. There's so much to say because all the books arcs kind of connect in a way, and it just connects to the series. Like, you need to know what the Addicted / Calloway Sister series is about before you read this, obviously. Try to just like wrap everything up very quickly. The 3 famous families, the Meadows, the Hales, and the Cobalts, they all have kids, and this is what that series is about. So we do get a little bit of the core 6 in here, which I really liked. I was really excited to start reading the series because of Julia and Carrie, because before they read it, I only ever heard that people were saying like, oh, the series is okay, it's whatever, and it didn't push me to read it. But after they read it and seeing how much they loved it, I know I would have the exact same reaction, and I ate this up. But I just fell in love with Pharaoh and Mafi, and just seeing Lilo raise him, like just being so proud of how that's Lily and Lo's son. Like, I'm so proud of them, and the core 8. I'm so proud of them. Just seeing all the different cousins and seeing all the different kids, their own personalities and what they're known for, and it just made my heart so happy, like jumping back into this universe and reading about it. I feel like there were just so many factors that played a part into why I enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed seeing everything from Mafi's point of view, as being like the oldest Hale kid, like literally famous once he was born. Just seeing how the core 6 is as parents from his point of view, and seeing his cousins in his point of view, and just how protective he is of everyone. Like, I loved that aspect. He gets assigned a new bodyguard in this book, Pharaoh, and if you read the bad reputation to it, there's like a very last scene at the end of Wherever You Are. It is Garrison and Mafi, and in there it's basically kind of explaining that Mafi's getting a new bodyguard, and he's kind of nervous about it, and he wants to know everything, so you kind of get that little sneak peek. He gets assigned Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is his childhood crush, pretty much. You just kind of see the relationship kindle. Like, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it. They're secretly together because you're not supposed to date your bodyguard. Like, that's like the #1 rule as a bodyguard. Do not sleep with your client. But what I really liked about this was that Mafi is like your typical, I'm only gonna have one night stands, I'm not gonna let anyone in, I'm not gonna be in a relationship type thing. The fact that Pharaoh kind of broke those walls for him and made him want to be in a relationship, made him want a boyfriend, I felt like I really liked that. So them together as boyfriends, like, I love them. They're so cute, and I love Pharaoh, and I just love to see like how much they really care for each other, and I just think that they're such an amazing couple. One thing that I will say about this book though, the end, that is not my core 6. That's all I have to say about that. So I gave Damage Like Us 5 out of 5 stars, and then jumping into the second book, Lovers Like Us, I also gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Again, love this universe, love like everyone in this book. We get a lot more cousin content in this, which I was obsessed with. 5 of the older cousins, so Jane, Mafi, Charlie, Beckett, and Sully, they all go on tour with their bodyguards. I really enjoyed getting to know the Cobalt twins more, getting to know a little bit of Sully, and then just seeing everyone dynamic pretty much. I loved that. Like, again, we do get Mafi and Pharaoh in this, and again, they're amazing. I loved the relationship dynamic that we get here, but like the family content that we get in here is just so good. There's a feud between Mafi and Charlie, and we kind of get answers there. Like, I hated Charlie at the beginning of this book, but then towards the end, I really felt for him. I just wanted to give him a huge hug. I loved getting those Beckett crumbs. I'm obsessed with Beckett, the bad boy of ballet. Here, we also get so many crumbs with Akara and Sully, and I'm upset because I really like them in this book, right? I keep hearing so many terrible things about Sully in her book, and I'm just like, no. So that's what's really irritating, because they're so freaking cute in this book. I tabbed so many things for like different couples. Look how many tabs I have here. Different couples that I know are gonna have books and cousin content in general, so I loved it. But I'm so upset that I'm not gonna like her books. But I'm gonna go in with an open mind, hoping that I don't agree with the majority and that I end up liking her books, but I don't know. I can't describe like the chokehold that these people have me in. And what I was also really surprised when starting the series, I didn't think I would really care for the bodyguards, because like all of these are bodyguard romances, right? But I am obsessed with the bodyguards just as much as I am with like the core 8 and their whole family. The bodyguards are a part of their family, and I love them. SFO, yes, I will die for them. Like, I love them so much, and I wasn't expecting to. You just really grow an attachment to them, especially reading about them in Pharaoh's point of view. You kind of see like behind the scenes of the bodyguards and see really how much they care for the famous families, for the Cobalt, for the Hales, and for the Meadows. And you see like the bodyguards sometimes have like the little bias. Like Donnelly, he is a die-hard Cobalt stan. Cobalt, Colt, or die. Donnelly is like 100% team Cobalt. Darrow, he's obviously team Hale, as he should. Akara, just like, you know, he like rides for the meadows. I just love all the cousins, all the bodyguards. We also got really good Jane and Thatcher crumbs here. And then, okay, I know he doesn't have a book, and I know we haven't even read his point of view, but I really love Xander. You get a little bit more Xander content here. I don't know what it is about Xander, but after I read Some Kind of Perfect in that blog, I was like, he's my favorite. Xander's my favorite. And reading these two books already, I'm like, oh my god, like I love Xander so much more. I am just so excited to continue reading the series. I'm gonna try to finish the series before Luna's books come out because I see a lot of anticipation for her books and I want to read it the day it comes out. I'm so excited to continue the series, just get more cousin content, more family content, and just more couple content in general. So far, the first two books in like a series, 5 out of 5 freaking stars. And then the last book I read for the month, I read The Most Valuable Playboy by Lauren Blakely. Logan from Elsie's Bookstagram recommended this. I actually listened to this on Audible. This is my first audiobook. I gave this like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was my first audiobook, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it because I wasn't fully like immersed into the story because I was listening to it versus like reading it. However, I liked the plot of it. It's sports romance, brother's best friend, reformed playboy, fake dating, childhood friend to lovers. I feel like I really enjoy all of those tropes. Cooper is the quarterback for the Renegades, so Cooper is being auctioned off. Think like, you know, in that one episode of One Tree Hill, I'm gonna put a picture here where Nathan is like the boy toy and he's getting auctioned off. Think that. Like that is the first scene that we get in the book. And Cooper is being auctioned off. He knows that someone who he doesn't want to buy him is going to buy him. He talks to Violet about it, which is his best friend's sister. Violet wins, but she's using Cooper's money. Winning him in the auction, it kind of just spirals into them like fake dating all of a sudden. They hang out a little bit more. You kind of see like their feelings are developing. I felt like this book had really, really good spice. Like the spice in this book was, whoa. This was also my first book where like the whole point of view was the guy, and I thought that was really interesting. I feel like I liked the book, right? I just wasn't like super attached to the story and super attached to the characters. I don't know if that had to do with me listening to the book versus reading it, but I thought it was like a solid read. It was a really good choice for my first audiobook. Like I really enjoyed the narrator and everything. It was really cute, but again, I just wasn't attached to the characters. And those are the 5 books that I read in March. Wasn't a whole lot, but I felt like quality over quantity. I really enjoyed a lot of the books that I read. That is it for today's YouTube video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and hearing my thoughts on all of the books that I read. If you want to check out my other social medias, they are linked below. I have different aesthetics and just like more full-length reviews and different things based on these books that I read. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.